Hi, Guillermo. Welcome here. My name is Wojtek. It's such a pleasure to host you here today during Imagination Day 2024 in Warsaw. I have listened to your speech on the stage. It's pretty fascinating. But I wanted to ask you a question. First, my first question would be about your probably not latest, but the latest, most famous work of yours and your agency, RA23, which, in my opinion, is hands down the best pharma and health agency in the world. So the work in question is the magnetic stories. If you could tell us a few words about how does a project like that come to life?
I think the most interesting thing is what I love about Area 23, and that's why Area 23 was my first agency in United States. Like Tim Hockey, he brought me from Chile,
Such
right?
a great guy.
Yeah, crazy, but
Yeah,
but no, but great in a way
Tim, don't
that
listen, don't listen.
you know. But he knows what I think about him, and I'm very vocal about it, so it's no problem between us. Like, um, but what he created, right? I arrived to Area 23, and then I left, and now I came back because I think it's an incubator of uh, of bravery, you know, because it is hard. Like, even though the nature of this idea is very simple, right? Because to execute it, you don't need much money actually, right? Because it's more imagination. The magic is like the copywriting in it. The writers making the stories
Hmm.
did the magic, but it's the drive that agency is creating, within
Hmm.
that fire, as you were saying before, opening spaces for wild, weird people. Sometimes I consider myself being very weird, also very challenging with authority. You know, when I arrived to Area 23, now looking backwards, like I don't know how team actually put up with me too much because I was like I came with that culture from South America. That I think is that's why also Area 23 works that well, and this project itself, like Magnetic Stories, is like the Babel Tower.
Hmm.
There's like people from all over the world working in the project,
Hmm. Hmm.
like the best minds, like Viton, who is the guy that actually found the problem and came like originally with the idea, like a fucking genius
Hmm.
from Brazil, of course. um
Of course.
of course, I mean, they are
I
like
mean, most of the,
yeah,
no offense to other nations, of course, but most of the,
yeah,
world's
they
greatest
are a
creatives
superpower.
are from South America.
Yeah.
There's something. You have some water, something in water there. I
No,
think.
but I don't think it's that. I think it's the culture of friction.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are not scared or afraid of that. In South America, the verticality between positions is not that strong, and actually in Brazil, more than in Chile, you are expected to challenge the upper level. So the
Yes.
the the juniors compete against the creative directors with ideas, eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
At that level of friction is what brings like that creativity, because you can run wild. Like, it doesn't matter because your title. I'm not gonna go after you. Like, I want to create something better than you, even if you have 30 lions,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
are the ECD,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. Like, almost creativity is the equalizer.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because this is exactly my attitude as well, and I have seen it, in several agencies in Poland and outside Poland as well, and I think it's that's the thing about creativity. It's like innate nature is to damage status quo, And
Mhm.
if you want to damage status quo conceptually, you gotta start with the structure, But as long as the whole challenging, the structure that that welcomes the challenge can
Mhm.
remain like healthy,
Yeah.
then that's exactly that sweet spot, that you want to have. So yeah, shaking up the status quo. I like what you said with Area 23 that it's like an incubator, you know,
Yeah.
and I basically follow, you know, the stuff that agency does because to me it's less of a, you know, a healthcare agency and
Mm-hmm.
more of a technological, you know, like you said, incubator. You know, what I'm seeing, you know, all over the world in the festivals like One Show, D&AD, Cannes Lions, and so on and so on, is that the technological innovation in advertising seems to be shifting to
Mm-hmm.
healthcare, really. You know, the healthcare, you know, the health and wellness part of advertising,
Mm-hmm.
which, you know, until even a few years ago was like, you know, kind of the ugly duckling of advertising. Now
Yeah.
seems to be like the place where you can get the most ambitious and crazy
Yeah.
ideas. Because let's face it, you know, the magnetic stories are crazy ideas because you've decided to add a soundtrack to you know, to a very stressful, you know, medical
Mm-hmm.
examination, which in my opinion is just a perfect example of how crazy in a positive
Mm-hmm.
sense I might have to be to come up with a combination of such, you know, of such an unexpected combination. It's
Yeah.
like a, you know, it's perfect example of 1 + 1 = 3, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what do you think about, you know, the way the pharma advertising is the direction it's heading into?
Yeah. Well, I feel like creativity flourish because you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like through problems. I feel like I don't think in history it's like that study, but if you really think about it, like creativity is like the most like Darwin thing ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The survival of the leanest. Because imagine you were hungry, you were trying to run after a rabbit, you wouldn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to come up using creativity, create a tool
Mm-hmm.
that was going to allow you to. But like it's facing the need. If you don't have that need, pharma needs creativity because everything we are talking about is so heavy, right? Diseases, you
Yeah.
know, pain, you know, making people trying to understand things that usually you avoid. Nobody wants to hear about 7 signs to detect cancer, like you avoid those things. Of course, like that's why a beer, a car, have it easy
Mm-hmm.
because you're just playing in the happy side. Like we are playing in the dark side, and the dark side needs to be presented with beauty and magic.
Yeah, it's
And
beautifully said. Yeah, the dark side has to be presented with beauty. Let's remember that.
hmm
This is really good. Yeah. Um, uh, my next question would be a kind of standard one. You know, being in, you know, involved in technological
hmm
advancements. You know, so deeply.
hmm
What is this one technological advancement, upcoming one that you
hmm
are looking forward to the most?
yeah, I'm not sure if it's exactly that, but Neuralink,
Mm-hmm.
right? The ability to enhance your own brain capacity. I'm very intrigued because it's magical almost. How you can, for example, not going too far into drugs, right? But due that you have ADHD, right? Your brain operates in a certain way that can be altered through chemics to
Mm-hmm.
operate differently. So imagine if you had something to tap really into your brain, like a hardware
Mm-hmm.
to intervene and to maybe enhance your capacity to be more creative, like with I don't know if it's possible, but with a button, like we were talking
I'm
about
pretty sure
in,
it's
in
possible.
the
Yeah.
in the in the talk today, like that switch. What if it was something real that you can actually activate when you are brainstorming,
Yeah,
right?
more dopamine, a button on a smartphone. Yeah,
Yeah,
I need more
well,
dopamine. And now I want to feel, you know, a bit more cozy. Button, a
yeah.
slider,
I
more
mean,
oxytocin.
that's a little bit Black Mirror, but
A
but the,
little.
the the enhancement of the brain at will is something that intrigues me, and I'm very excited to see where it can go. Where of course can go to the wrong side, some good side,
Like
but
everything.
that's science,
Like
like the
everything. I mean,
exploration.
look at me. The thing is, with every technological advancements, there, you know, there's a dark scenario and there's a bright scenario, and it's true for every single technological advancement, going all the way back to, you know, to the
Yeah.
domestication of fire. I mean, obviously, 80,000 years ago, when first Neanderthals, domesticated fire, they, someone got burned,
Hmm.
definitely. Someone got burned, Someone's camp probably got burned down, right? But then again, someone got, warm at night, and
Yeah.
someone were able to, to cook food, So it's always like that. And I think it's just about this, finding this balance, being kind of, as a collective, as a species, we just have to find a way not to go too far,
Hmm.
onto the
Yeah.
darker side. It's so far we seem to be surviving as a species so far. I mean, it's looking,
Yeah.
it's not perfect, but probably it's never been perfect.
Yeah. But the same thing, is interesting what you were saying because the when something becomes controversial,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's say cloning people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God, they started cloning like sheep. What's gonna happen next? People, why, that was wrong. But like the thing is, right now, I feel like because social media and media communication is so well developed, right? We have way more awareness of these things. But back in the day, all the big leaps in science were done like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
downsize, the potential downsize was also crazy big, but it went right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like always like that gambling. You have
Mm-hmm.
to test the water, expand, see where it can go, and then you need to apply the human
Mm-hmm.
judgment to calibrate. But you cannot being so shy about
Mm-hmm.
exploring. Otherwise there's no advancement.
Yeah, I mean, without, yeah, exactly. Have to risk it. Maybe not all, but be open to, as you said, exploration. But you mentioned, that some technologies, not always are going, right. If there
Hmm.
was one technological advancement, that if you had the power to
Hmm.
rid the world of it, just remove it, with a
Yeah.
click of fingers, and that technological advancement disappears,
Yeah.
what would that be? What would be one technology that you want to
I think
go?
that's an easy one for me, and I think for a creative in general, and it's like the algorithm of
Mm,
social media,
all right.
you know,
Yeah.
and the way that it's created to enhance consumption of what you like,
Mm-hmm.
right? With that is great because I love it because right now, I mean, in my Instagram, I'm the king of raccoons and funny animals, and I love it because when I have to distract myself, I just go there
Yep.
and the algorithm just knows that I want raccoons and cats doing weird stuff, right? But the result is that you then, because we have our phone with us all day and everything we're consuming is just mirroring our own beliefs, the
Yeah.
things we like. So you don't have exposure so much to different point of views, So it's like a hyper doubling down in confirmation biases,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because then like everything that is out of your comfort zone, like mentally, is not even appearing in
Yeah.
your feed,
You're
So
stuck in an echo chamber, or you
yes,
think that the world is exactly like me. Well, it's not
yeah,
true. I think that's the problem that political campaigns have trying to challenge, and they kind of can get a grip on. I mean, the last presidential election, in US
yeah,
is a prime example of that, right? If you were in a a liberal algorithm, it really seemed like Kamala Harris
yeah,
a sure winner, and then we have a landslide, right? And it turns out that Trump campaign didn't even spend a half of the money that Harris campaign spent,
yeah,
on ads. So that's this echo chambers, right? Plus,
yeah,
it really kind of gets you and gets you hooked and
yeah,
keeps you like that. It's designed. Those raccoons. This is designed,
yeah, to grab you, to
to
bring you
grab you,
there, yeah,
to grab you by the face and just
yeah,
keep you there.
yeah, yeah. The
It
the
is scary. Yeah.
addictive, the algorithm, those two
Hmm.
kind of like characteristics of the algorithm, the mirroring
Hmm.
what you like and just not showing you the other spectrum, right?
Yeah.
And the addictive nature of it. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that I will, which is like, it's not even like removing the technology, it's just like recalibrating it. So it's like more humanized,
Yeah.
but they are like making money out of it. So it's like almost like they're farming us, they're farming
It's Orwellian,
our
very
attention.
Orwellian thing,
Yeah.
right? It's there might not be way back out of it. I'm afraid, but maybe there will be a way of moderating that.
Yeah.
So with that very positive and optimistic note,
Mm-hmm.
we are in a Orwellian
Mm-hmm.
world. let's 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 end here. Thank you very much. It
Of course.
was a pleasure. Let's keep talking after this as well.
Sure.
And again, congratulations for all the work you've
Thank
done
you so
with
much.
Area. Really great stuff. Keep doing that. Keep doing that.
We're gonna try.
And keep helping people move from smart to genius.
I'll do my best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.